So, it's time to leave the waking world behind and enter the nightmare realm of Fatal Frame 3 yet again. So, as we start this new update, unexpectedly we find ourselves in control of a brand new character, the aforementioned K, whose name I have been mispronouncing for most of the LP, and I do apologize for that. As to what he is doing in the manner of sleep, well, he is having to be on the bit of the defensive, due in part to the fact that he currently does not have a camera obscura to defend himself, and that tattooed blue lady will kill him in one hit. So we have to be careful on the lookout for her. But we are in a brand new place, so let's go ahead and look around.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Now we know who that might have been. And for those that played Fatal Frame 2, those crimson butterflies, not really harbingers of good omen. But even if we wanted to follow Mio, seems we are blocked by this butterfly lock here. Yet again, more references to Fatal Frame 2. So I guess our goal for right now is going to be to not only find a camera obscura, but hopefully to find the butterfly key for that lock. Also, we're going to need to get our bearings as we are in a brand new portion of the Manor of Sleep, even though this does seem familiar if you recall the daydream. Initially we did have to rush through that door, but now that we have time to explore, we can find another reoccurring stash of herbal medicine. And we already know this door isn't going to lead where we thought, so let's see where it leads. Leads into a brand new room. Seems like something of a bedroom, maybe? Definitely got some interesting wall decorations. And over in the corner here we find a familiar instrument from Fatal Frame 1, the Japanese koto. Now next to it we do find a brand new entry for our files in the form of the purple diary here. Now we don't know who this is under the ownership of, but it does lead something of a romantic tale. Yeah, so it mentions combing hair. Now, we have already seen a ghost that was supposedly called Woman Brushing, and likewise along the wall here we do find what appeared to be impaled pieces of hair, along with a hairpin engraved with a holly emblem. Definitely an uncomfortable, empty motif. Otherwise, though, the door up the stairs there is locked, and the smaller door here is likewise locked, but if you recall from the last update, we took a picture of a lady up on this area here before, and there was a locked door that was nearby. Maybe now under the power of K, we can make our way through it. Though we are given a very simple puzzle to solve here. We already know where this is located.
Is somebody here?
And we don't want to rush out there too quickly, as it will cause us to miss this chance for a Vanishing Ghost. Also, I do love the subtle koto music that was playing in the background and has now been interrupted. But we now get to see Kay's special ability. He doesn't get to slow down time and he doesn't get power lenses. He gets the amazing ability to hide. Yeah, it's not that useful, and we'll see pretty much in a second here that it's kind of hard to tell just the range of vision on the ghosts.
Are you here?
The good news is that hiding isn't extremely important as long as you've gotten down some dodging skills. And for the most part, most of the ghosts in the game will kind of have a limited range with which they can move in. So once you reach a certain room or just a certain area, the ghost will pretty much stop following you, even though, well, if this is your first time through, you might not know that, and you might be trying to take this part as slowly and hiding as possible. For the most part, though, it is nigh on completely unnecessary to do. But I will be showing it off a little bit more. For right now, though, I do want to do a little bit of backtracking to try to get some additional items. I will say for the most part that Kay is pretty much the more underpowered of the three characters. And in that case, I assume that's why they have given you so many healing items and so many stashes of Type 14 film waiting around. Because, especially on the harder difficulties, you will definitely be needing it for the case sections of the game. But I did have an ulterior motive for coming into the Projector Room. Well, two ulterior motives. First and foremost, there is a hidden ghost in here, known as the Projector Woman. But in addition to that, you can obviously pick up some more Type 14 film. But you may recall, I think in the previous update, we did manage to find a new unknown piece of film reel located in Ray's house. So let's go ahead and watch that. Perhaps it's the Projector Woman, or perhaps it's something else. Kind of hard to say. But for right now, we don't really have a clear indication as to where that butterfly key is. It could be, honestly, anywhere in the Manor of Sleep for right now, but I get a stronger feeling that we need to head down this way. We get a Vanishing Ghost to tell us that our hunch was correct. So let's go ahead and head out into that graveyard courtyard area.
It hurts.
Or instead, let's hide. And that Vanishing Ghost was also to indicate to us that there was a hiding spot over here, and we get our first real necessary bit of hiding, and possibly the only necessary bit of hiding in the game. It gives me a good opportunity to explain it a little bit more. Now, when you're hiding, you'll notice that the viewfinder has turned blue, and that means that we are not seen. Once that turns orange, that means we have been seen. And, well, you can't move. You can turn your view around, and that's pretty much all you can do in this position. I don't honestly know why they decided to put this mechanic in the game, as The Fatal Frame series has never been one for stealth, but we're just going to wait for her to move and make a run for it. Now, the reason I say this is probably the first necessary part is due to the enclosed hallway, there's a good chance she can grab you and instantly kill you, so you gotta be careful for that.
She must not realize. It must be hidden.
We find another brand new ghostly apparition. Seems waiting upstairs in that little area. Now it won't attack us till we head up there, so we're going to try our best not to rouse too much attention. Yeah, it does seem like she's investigating something in that set of drawers over there, but pretty much whenever you get to a certain point near her, it will cause her to become hostile. And the game may want you to stay up there and hide, and you know what, she's just way too spooky for me. So we're going to go ahead and use a little bit of a trick, and that is to head back to that door we just entered. And there we go, she's now gone. Crisis averted. Yeah, I guess you could try to use the cover up there and hide from her, or try to lure her downstairs so you can kind of double back and check the drawer she was looking in, but honestly, that's just a lot of unnecessary time wasting. But we can now investigate the drawer she was looking in. We find a man's bloodied kimono and a jumble of old books, but more importantly, we find Kay's camera obscura. In addition to that, we do find another entry for the folklorist notes. Now, we didn't miss two, we just haven't gotten it yet, but this one does mention that he'll be parting with someone named Kyoka. And he also mentions what I think is the mother and daughter duo, though I'm not actually for certain. There's some very helpful information. And along with that, we do get the slow lens. I've already explained that before, and works exactly the same way as Ray's does. The only problem is that now that we have a third character, we have a third separate camera with extremely horrible stats. And that means we're going to have to be powering up Kay's camera throughout the game along with Miku's and Ray's, which means we're going to have to be a little bit economical with our points. Either way, it is a good idea to work up Kay's power just a little bit, as well, you saw his stats there. He is extremely weak, which is why you want to try to avoid combat as much as possible. But you may have noticed while we were upstairs that something was indeed causing our camera viewfinder to be set off. And it's going to be located in that hallway that Miku examined, or headed down, with the large bedroom area sectioned off with blinds. And our clue is going to lead us right back to the bedroom of the woman brushing. Now, as there is nothing that happens between here and there, I'm just going to make a quick cut back to that room. And we're just going to take a quick candid snapshot of the woman brushing.
You said you would come back.
And then we're going to hightail it out of there, because fighting the woman brushing as K is, quite frankly, just frustrating as all hell. Good news is she decided to have a cry instead of chasing after us, so we can use that to our advantage and head back to that door that we have now unlocked. I know I have been skipping quite a bit of combat with Kay, but, well, these men in white should not be too much of a hassle. At least, it shouldn't be for any other character other than Kay, but hopefully you have gotten down the mastering of fatal frames and comboing, because you are definitely going to need it. Otherwise, you are going to be wasting a lot of film and a lot of time. The one good thing about K is, as you can tell, he only has 2 meters to build up, so you can build up to his max power pretty quickly. But these are honestly far outweighed by the fact that he is seriously bad at combat. With that little combat out of the way, we can now head to that room with the large blinds. As you may recall, that is where we left off with Miku, but we won't be heading to the same area.
Enough.
And though normally it would be a horrible idea to follow the faceless, bloodied hatchet man, we don't really have a choice at this point. We do have to catch up with Mio. Now, as we enter the room here, it does trigger a Vanishing Ghost, and this one can be a bit tricky, as there is one little opening here to actually take a picture of him in.
Let this priestess never awaken from her dream for all eternity.
Even though that did not sound like a man's voice. Yeah, for K, both of the doors on this floor are locked, so instead we're going to go investigate the library that's up here on the second floor. Now, this library is very important to look around in, as there is quite a bit of information hidden up here. Find at least 3 very important books that kind of outline at least some of the mysterious ritual that went on, possibly at the Manor of Sleep, or possibly at that haunted location where Ray started the game. Now we see here the mention of impalement by handmaidens and a poor young lady that's being used as a sacrifice. I wish I could say that's the worst part of this ritual, but as we find this second book here for the engravers, we'll find that, much like the mourners from Fatal Frame 2, some women were blinded and forced to have endless dreams shared with this young sacrifice, and then they had their hands cut off and replaced with pins. Yeah. And I wish I could say it gets better, but it gets a lot worse before it gets better in this case. But our final piece of information is not as grisly. It just kind of points out the reasoning for the fact that the male visitors have to have their faces covered and their emotions stripped, so that it does not cause the priestess's heart to stir. And you can probably already guess that didn't work out so well. But our final thing to find up here is another film reel. We'll be looking at this in the next update. For right now, though, we are going to see Kay's final wonderful ability, and that is his manly strength. Yeah, some of these bookcases, Kay is the only one that is able to move them. And there we go. He can hide and he can push. He is a master of all trades, but it seems his altar is of some importance. Though for right now, we don't have the item necessary to solve this little puzzle, as it mentions that it needs some tome of instruction written in the ink of the etching of the soul. That sounds awful. But more importantly, we do find the butterfly key we were looking for. And that means we can now follow after Mio. Before we do that, though, I want to take a little bit of an optional side trek up this ladder here. There is a really lovely, lovely room behind this door. Yeah, this really brings to mind that strobe room from Fatal Frame 2. You do want to be careful in here, though, as things seem a bit off. Now, normally, it's, your natural inclination to go run straight after a Vanishing Ghost, but be wary. That center hallway there will really trigger a pretty nasty ambush that Kay just can't deal with. But we do get a nice reward in our first piece of Type 90 film. This is, I think, the second highest tier film in the game, and we will have to stockpile this like crazy for later on. For right now, though, that is all we need to do up here. So we can now safely head back to that butterfly door and, I don't know, free Mio from her horrible coma? It's kind of hard to say what Kay is actually going to even be able to do once he catches up with Mio. But we do get ambushed, and you know what? Hiding is dumb and pointless, so yeah, that's some wonderful evasive maneuvers. And it just goes to show that hiding is completely pointless in this game. But let's go ahead and see what is behind this mysterious locked crimson butterfly door. It may not seem immediately obvious, but this is a familiar room that we have seen before. Now on this pillow here, we do find another new upgrade lens, or power lens. The pressure lens will do a little bit of damage, but more importantly, will push ghosts away as if they were hit by a fatal frame. This is not a really useful lens, and I probably won't ever waste points on it, but there you go. Also in this nearby hallway, a little alcove here amongst the pots, we do find a hidden item, and it's a stone mirror. Now each character that we have can carry a stone mirror apiece, but once they pick it up, it means that no other character will be able to find that, so choose wisely. But yeah, this room is from Fatal Frame 2 in the Kurosawa house. And you may recall this was where the folklorist Manakata was being held before he was turned into the Kusabi. Instead, we now find Mio mumbling incessantly to herself.
So we can be together again.
Oh, this is new. We wake from our dream not in a brand new day, but still in the midst of nighttime. Also, it's a bit hard to hear, but there is some very subtle static going on. I wonder what that is. Seems like it's coming down from Yu's room. Now, we never did investigate his closet before. I wonder what could be in here. Lots of nothing. Yeah, it just seems the nightmares never end, and that thin line between the dream and reality might be getting a bit more tenuous. I don't know, maybe if we go talk to Miku, things might seem a little bit clearer.
Oh, Ray, you're still awake?
What do you mean? I thought I'd been asleep.
Ray, this is it.
So we don't really get any helpful information from Miku regarding those skewered dolls we gave her a picture of before. Seems like there might be some similar folklore to other places, but she does direct us to a book waiting up in Yu's bedroom, so we'll probably go investigate that.
If you need anything else, just let me know.
And as she teleports away, somehow, There is a little bit of an Easter egg of sorts waiting out here in the hallway. Seems like something is irritating Mr. Kitty Cat. I wonder what could be bothering him. There's no ghostly apparitions waiting in the altar room here. Maybe we just missed it as it walked down this hallway here. I know, the ghost is waiting in the closet, obviously. We're just gonna get... It's probably that Takagawa again. Yep, the game literally threw a cat scare at us. But that was just a cute little scare to get it out of the way. For now, we're going to head back up to Yu's room. See if we can't find that book regarding the skewered dolls. Before we head up there, though, I'm going to see if I can't have a serious chat with this cat here. That was really rude. I can't stay mad at you. But with that important business out of the way, on to learning, finally, about skewered dolls. Now, as we read here about skewered dolls, what we mostly want to take away from all this writing is that mostly in most rituals and practices, these dolls were used as pretty much totems of the dead. Whether for good or bad, the skewered doll was always something representing a dead person. That's about all we need to gather from this, as this is just all kind of mild connection to what we really need to know, but human sacrifice. Can't get enough of it. But while we are in here, that weird dream we had, or maybe it wasn't a dream, did remind me there is an attic we haven't really explored. So let's go ahead and head up there. Now the attic is a very, very small area. You can pretty much walk a couple of feet forward and walk a couple of feet back. And it is a particular creepy area, but you only run into danger on New Game Plus, where you're able to quickly snap a photo of this hidden ghost. Otherwise, though, you are relatively safe up here. And there's only one point of interest, and that's in this box. This was the location of that static we were hearing before, and it's another callback to Fatal Frame 2 in the form of the Spirit Stone radio. Yet another invention by Dr. Asoy. This allows a person to get a crystal home to the wavelength of a dead person to hear certain thoughts and certain things from said dead person. It was kind of a cornerstone in Fatal Frame 2, but in Fatal Frame 3 we won't be getting very much use out of it. That's not to say we won't get any use out of it, but it won't come up in the plot again for quite a bit of time. With that, though, Ray decides to call it an evening, and with that, I think I'll go ahead and call it an update. Hopefully you'll join me next time as we head back into the Nightmare Realm. See you then.